Round 6 of the FIM JuniorGP World Championship moves up north in Spain from Jerez to Moto2, Aragón and Alcanis, where the streets of Alcanis witnessed racing for almost 40 years, overlooked by Castillo de los Castrovas, which bore witness to winners and champions alike. With 2 rounds to go, it's match point in 3 classes as the riders and their steeds tackle the 70 course 5 kilometre, 3.5 mile ribbon of Moto2 Aragón tarmac. Those that hold their nerves and come out on top after the toughest battles with a taste of victory carrying them to the highest peak. We could be anointing them the next king of the castle, so that means it's time to go racing in JuniorGP. Well, hello and good morning from Motorland Aragón. JuniorGP awaits 6 races are coming up for you today, starting off with Moto2 at 11 o'clock local time, followed by ETC Race 1 at 12, and then we've got JuniorGP Seoul Race at 1 o'clock local time, then Moto2 Race 2 coming up at 2, followed by ETC Race number 2 at 3, and rounding off the day with Stock European Championship at 4 o'clock. As I said at the top of the show, we have potentially 3 championships to be decided here, and first of them will be Moto2. Can it be Roberto Garcia, or could Matea Cassidy take the title glory here today with 1 race remaining at Valencia, 2 here today? So whoever leaves this round 25 points or more ahead going into the final round will be our champion. My name is Liam Hodgins, and joining me as always for the 5th time this season is Connor Doherty.
Liam, it's an absolute pleasure to be here with you in Motorland Aragón. I, for one, cannot wait to get going here.
Yeah, neither can these riders. So this is what happened last time out in Moto2. From a dominant weekend, pole position went to home hero Roberto Garcia and looked very comfortable early on. But comfort was not in Danny Muñoz's vocabulary, the 17 dancing the edge of track limits. However, it was big drama for Roberto Garcia as he tumbled out from the lead at turn 10. This left a battle for the lead between Danny Muñoz Ferrandis and Sura, with Matteo Volpi stopping early on. Alberto Sura would make a play for second at Pedrosa corner. However, he made a mistake at turn 7. This left a gap, and Ferrandis and Sura came together, and Sura tumbled through the gravel. As Ferrandis took the lead, this will be the last time he led the race, as he got a long lap penalty with only a couple of laps remaining, and this left Danny Muñoz to take victory for the 3rd time this season and put himself into championship contention. Well, we come into this round with potentially 5 riders all within title contention, but Danny Muñoz, Connor, is one of those riders we will not be talking about considering he did take his 3rd victory last time out at Jerez. However, a crash in Moto2 in Japan last weekend, he fractured his ankle, so he is missing this race weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, really unfortunate for Daniel Muñoz. We'll be hoping he's back in action as soon as possible. And it's a real shame for him, as his chances for the title really are, well, all but disappeared.
Yeah, they really are indeed. It's such a massive shame for Danny Muñoz. However, we have got a bit of a jumbled up grid today with rain yesterday, which really played part in yesterday's action.
Yeah, 100% Liam. The conditions really affected proceedings yesterday. If we take a look back at last year's pole position, it was Senna Agius, and he recorded a time for pole with 1:52.680. To put that into context, with the pole this time around, Ferrandis did a 2:04.309. That's 12 seconds slower, more or less.
Yeah, the conditions yesterday were, well, biblical, we could say at times. There was a little bit of drizzle for most of it. However, we're speaking to a lot of the riders yesterday, and they said the grip is amazing, but there's some patches out there on track that you might see in the broadcast that there's a bit less grip in the wet. However, thankfully today, sun is shining, the mist that we had in the morning has dissipated, and Alberto Ferrandis is now going from his 1st pole position of 2024.
Yeah, Ferrandis will be thrilled to be going from pole this time around. He did look really strong last time out in Jerez, and this time around starting from pole, well, who knows where he can finish up.
Yeah, he'll be looking for his 1st victory in Moto2. Stepped up to the class late last year, competing in European Talent Cup. Then, with a couple of rounds to go, decided, you know what, JuniorGP, I don't fancy that. I'm going to go up to Moto2. So he finds himself in the class. He's been a rapid rookie so far in 2024, and this is how rapid he was yesterday.
I am really, really happy. It's my first pole position in all the European Championships, and yes, we do a very good job this weekend, and I pushed a lot in this qualifying session. It was really hard because the rain and all of this, but yes, I'm really happy. We are ready for tomorrow. I won the first position, and we can do a very good race. I think that we can win.
Posiciones.
2 minute 4.309 for Alberto Ferrandez, your pole sitter, ahead of both races here today in Motorland Aragon. He's confident of victory, and why would he not be? Because he's been fast all weekend, has Alberto Ferrandez. Made his debut in Moto2 1 year ago, so he returns to a track for the first time that he knows well on a Moto2 machine.
Confidence there. Incredibly confident words from Ferrandez as he gets ready to try and seal that first win in this class on that FIM Network machine.
Yeah, he will indeed. However, as we said at the top of the show, he's another rider that is well and truly in with a shout of this Moto2 Championship. The other main protagonist will come to very shortly. However, we have to speak to our stock European Championship winner from 1 year ago, Eric Fernandez, not to be confused with Ferrandez, because it can be a bit of a tongue twister at times. But Eric Fernandez, he really has been shown really well in the last few rounds. He was unlucky back in Jerez. He was shuffled off the grid because he didn't quite get that bike going, and that really put paid to any chance he had. But Eric Fernandez really has seen his counterpart in stock from last year, Danny Munoz, taking some victories, and he fancies a taste of victory himself here today. Yeah,
absolutely. He's one of the consistent performers. He's regularly getting into the top 10, so this, starting on the front road, could be the push he needs. We've also got Mattia Volpi there. He's one of the riders that's struggling to be consistent, and again, starting from P3, well, he's in with a real shout to get a result this time around.
Yeah, he was showing very well in Jerez before he had that technical problem that we saw in the highlights package from last time out. He's had a best result here in Aragon of 8th place. That was in race 2 in Aragon, so he'll be looking to go even better than that. Starting from the front row of the grid, he has a great chance of finally tasting some silverware in Moto2. However, the first of our championship protagonists, our main ones, Mattia Cassidy sits 2 points behind Roberto Garcia, leads the second row of the grid. He's been very consistent in 2024 as Cassidy hasn't really tasted too much silverware, but he's finished inside the top 6 in every single race.
Yeah, really consistent, and I think that is what can make the difference at this level. The ability to get a race finished every time you take to the track. And talking about silverware, well, he's a rider that very much knows what it feels to lift a trophy.
He does indeed, and so does this man on screen now, Nicola Spinelli, making his Moto2 debut here in the European Championship. And just listen to this for some facts. He's a Moto E race winner. He's also a World Superbike race winner, all in the space of 2024. When he filled in for Danilo Petrucci back in Assen, he won race 1 in what was changeable conditions. You can never take a race win away from anyone, and Nicola Spinelli has some of the biggest CV of race wins of anyone in the class.
Yeah, he really shows his acumen every time he gets on that bike, and this time around in this class, well, he couldn't really be a surprise package.
Another new name on the grid, Rossi Moore. Now, you might remember that name from Northern Talent Cup. He was your 2022 champion there. He's been racing in America for the last couple of years. Originally born in Oregon, he has been living in Budapest in Hungary, and he was racing under the Hungarian national flag for a time being. Before he switched back over to the American one, as we're seeing some messages going out to Natalia. So, yeah, so many racers out there racing for Natalia, so hopefully, fingers crossed, they'll pick up some good results. Unai Aradri, another rider, has had a few podium positions after a difficult start to the season. He'll be hoping to go from, well, go for more in Aragon, going from the start of the third row of the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. He's finished third twice in race 2 in Catalonia and in race 2 in the Algarve. He knows what it's like to step onto that podium. He doesn't know what it's like to step on top of that podium. So we'll see whether he's capable of doing that here today in Aragón.
Yeah, well, indeed. We've got Jambert on the middle of the third row of the grid. Another rider. Well, look at that. Climbed all the way up to fourth, just missing out on a podium. And Jerez, he really did have a late charge through the field. So Jambert, another rider to watch out for. He's coming to the fore in 2024. And there was a lot of fours to say there. And Moto2. So Jambert, another rider that is really starting to come on strong in Moto2.
Yeah, Jambert, Liam, is one of only 3 riders to have actually finished every single race in this Moto2 European Championship. Josh Watley, Liam, what about him?
Well, Josh Watley, we did see him make his debut back in Jerez. Well, a really good debut. He was inside the top 6 early doors. I did speak to him yesterday. We thought it was maybe a technical issue with the bike. I must apologise to the Fantic Cardozo team for assuming that, but it was actually some arm pump for Josh Watley. He's had an operation on the arm. He's feeling confident. Goes from the outside of the third row of the grid. So Josh Watley, it's only his second event in Moto2 and already showing up strong. And he's also ahead of his championship leading teammate Roberto Garcia. Can you believe this? Qualified down on the front row, on the front of row number 4 in 10th spot. Only holds a 2-point lead over Mattia Cassidy. So what can Roberto Garcia do from 10th in the grid? Not for just this race, but for also race 2.
Yeah, it could be a real issue for Roberto Garcia, having conceded the initiative in this race to Mattia Cassidy. As you said, Liam, there's just 2 points separating them. Here we have then the starting grid. Ferrandis, Fernandez and Volpi on the front row. Behind them, Cassidy, Spinelli and Moore. And Oradre, Gimbert and Watley making up row 3. On row 4 we have Garcia, Montero and Sora. On row 5, Feon, Voigt and Mongiado. On row 6, Eisenkolb, Hader and Toth. Behind them on row 7, Di Vittori, Al-Kubaisi and Inter. And at the back on row 8, Aubry and Hosaka.
So as the riders get ready to go for their warm-up lap, it's Alberto Ferrandis, bike number 54, that leads them away. He will be leading them away from pole position here in the glorious, I must say, Aragón sunshine after we had a deluge on Saturday. Thankfully, there was not too many disruptions to proceedings. However, on Super Sunday, we have some sunlight out there on Aragón. Now you can see there's a couple of patches of tarmac. They'll be okay in the dry. However, there were some problems for the riders yesterday in the wet. However, and we're hoping that for this time being, everything will be okay. We're confident that they will be after speaking to a few riders that in the dry conditions. The track, the resurfaced tarmac here in Aragón is absolutely brilliant, offering up a huge amount of grip in the wet for most part, and also in the dry for all of it.
Yeah, we also heard something similar about Motoland Aragón from the MotoGP riders when they were here earlier this year. Here we're watching them come down that sensationally technical bit of track. And here we can see that it is partly cloudy, track temperature 20 degrees. Yeah, but that will be rising throughout the day. We did have quite a cool night here in Aragón, and as we arrived at the circuit, the mist was covering the entire area. That actually meant that the pit lane walk was cancelled for the fans, so that was very unfortunate. But as the minutes have clocked down towards the beginning of our track action, the sun has really just seen that all disappear.
Now you can see there the championship standings, 2 points, but it's a big day for Moto2 because if Roberto Garcia or Mattia Cassidy, however, even Alberto Sura or Ferrandis leave here 25 points ahead of their rivals, they will be champion in 2024. It's a big day for these Moto2 championship contenders, and Alberto Ferrandis, he might be the rider that's the furthest back. He's 23 points back of Roberto Garcia. However, he is in prime position to take full advantage of any slip-ups the top four may have.
Yeah, you do need things to go your way, but he's just going to have to focus on his own riding, focus on his own race, and do everything he can to get the best result possible here. He's not in control of what the other riders are doing. He's only in control of what he can do on his machine.
Well, as we get ready to go racing for the first time here today in Aragón, race number one for Moto2, 15 laps await us. It's Alberto Ferrandis on bike 54 on the left-hand side of your screen. In the middle of shot, bike 4, it is Eric Fernandez and Mateo Valpe on the outside of row number 1. As the red lights come on, revs are rising for race number 1. It's 11 o'clock, here we go. And Aragón, big wheelie there from Ferrandis. He chops off the front of Fernandez, and Cassidy around the outside. He's the championship contender, second in championship, made a great start. He's already gone from 4th up to 3rd, but it's Ferrandis that leads away for the time being ahead of Fernandez. Cassidy, where's Roberto Garcia? Your championship leader, he's gone from 10th on the grid. I think he's made up a few spots there. He might already be inside the top 8, Connor.
Yeah, we'll just have to confirm that shortly, but what a start from Fernandez. He did exactly what he needed to do to get away on that Finetwork machine, and he's followed by Fernandez going around these opening corners with 15 laps to go.
Yeah, 15 laps to go. That's Cassidy making a move already on Fernandez. Cassidy, who will be taking over the lead of the championship, chops off the front of Fernandez. So there's no respect there for Fernandez. Ferrandis and Cassidy have chopped over the front of the number 4. So the top 3 for the time being, Ferrandis, who's off and running like a scalded cat in early doors here in Aragón, as we see the riders pitch round to turn number 10, down or over the hill, over the crest of the hill, before they plummet down to his fast left, and then right. Fernandez making a move on Cassidy, but can't make it stick for the time being.
Yeah, at the same time as Cassidy is doing all of this hard work, Roberto Garcia's moved up just 2 places. It looked like he might have gone ahead a bit further, but yeah, absolutely. Garcia is trying to get the job done now.
Yeah, Garcia's making a play. I think that might have been on the 24. It was. So that's Spinelli who's gone backwards early doors. So Spinelli, who was on the second row of the grid, has already been shuffled back to 7th place. However, his race pace so far this weekend has been on point. As there's a bad contact almost between Sura and Rossi Moore. So Rossi Moore also on the outside of the second row of the grid. He's also been shuffled back. But that's a good opening lap from Garcia, but not quite as good as your race leader Ferrandis leads across the line from Cassidy, who will be taking over the lead of the championship. But Garcia takes not 1 but 2 into turn 1. Garcia, he's gone from 7th, he's up into 5th spot, up into 4th spot I should say, ahead of Radri. So Garcia sees his main championship rival just ahead of him, and he's ready to charge. He was quick in the drag conditions here on Thursday and Friday, so we know he's got the pace.
Yeah, that was actually brilliant from Garcia. He didn't make many overtakes at the beginning, but with those last 2 sectors, he managed to make up 5 places. He's now in P6. So yeah, wonderful start.
Yeah, great start there from Garcia. And he can see his chief championship rival, Mateo Cassidy, just 2 riders in front of him. Eric Fernandez stands in the way between Garcia and Mateo Cassidy. There was 2 points between them coming into this race. As things stand at the moment, there will only be 5 points covering them if we were to leave this race as it stands. Ferrandis, he did get a bit of a leap off the line and a good first lap. However, Cassidy, Fernandez and Garcia now starting to close in your race leader.
Yeah, Cassidy's looking really strong. He won't be looking behind him at the rider in P4. He's just focusing on what he needs to do, and he's doing it so well so far.
Yeah, he really is indeed. As they come through the right then the left, down the back straight we go. So this is almost a kilometre in length as this back straight as we power down the hill and towards the fast turns 16 and 17, and Cassidy on this lap has really closed down the advantage that Ferrandis opened out at the start of lap 1. But the rider we are looking out for is the rider 4th in your shot, Roberto Garcia, your championship leader, started all the way down in 10th. As we come across the line, start lap number 3, he's already up to 4th spot. And does he set the fastest lap of the race? Of course he does. 152.8. That was half a second, or more, almost a second actually, quicker than your race leader.
Yeah, that was absolutely sensational from Roberto Garcia. But we have to remember, over the course of this race, there's still 13 laps to go, and there's the confirmation of the fastest lap there. But Cassidy is a rider who's finished every single race.
Here we go, Connor. What a lovely move up the inside of Fernandez. So Fernandez, he didn't even open the door. It was just Garcia who just timed it to perfection, and a lovely overtake from your championship leader. Now, he's got his chief championship rival, Cassidy, just in front of him. If it remains as is, it'll be 2 points, but it'll be 2 points in favour of Cassidy rather than Garcia going into race 2 later on today. However, I think with 12.5 laps remaining, it's all going to change.
Yeah, that is something that is going to change without a doubt, Liam. Look at the concentration in that box as well. They know how important this is. And one thing Roberto Garcia needs to do is keep his head on. We've seen him fail to finish races. We saw it in his home race in Jerez, and that is something that is really playing into Cassidy's favour. He has finished every single race, and this is looking like a real battle for the ages for the Moto2 European Championship.
Yes, indeed. What an absolutely extraordinary battle we have on now. Garcia, he has made up 7 positions in the opening 3 laps. He won't mind that he's just got Cassidy in front of him. He'll just take stock for the time being, you will believe. Try and get those tyres back into working temperature, because he has had to use them quite heavily to go from 10th on the grid up into the podium battle. As Fernandez gets a little bit squirrely on the brakes into turn 16. Looks like maybe Cassidy is just turning it a little bit tighter. However, Fernandez, he's well and truly on the boil here. We might have a change of lead coming over the line as we start lap number 4. Cassidy making a move on Fernandez, but Garcia, will he be later on the brakes? No, it's line astern as you were into turn 1.
Yeah, it's still as you were. Fernandez leading, followed by Cassidy and Garcia, but this is a real battle between the front 3. Garcia's chasing down Cassidy. This is absolutely sensational racing, and we've still got 12 laps to go, Liam.
Yeah, 12 laps to go. This is what we want to see in Moto2. Fernandez leading up Cassidy. Can Garcia make the move that he made on Fernandez last lap? No, he can't. Look at Unai Radri on the number 10. He's closed down the advantage on the last lap. He was half a second faster than the top 4, but Garcia, he's making a move on his chief championship round, pushes Cassidy out right.
That couldn't have been better.
Fernandez took advantage of that, so Cassidy slipped from 2nd down to 4th, and Garcia now, he's only got 1 rider between himself and possible victory.
Yeah, that was absolutely perfect from Roberto Garcia. The Andalusian will be so happy with the way that worked out. Cassidy will be furious. He's still got time to make up for that, of course, but that did not go well at all.
No, a bit
for
of
the Italian.
A bit of a moment there, I think, from Garcia. This has allowed Fernandez potentially have a look up the inside. Not quite just yet. However, Garcia from 10th on the grid, already up into 2nd place. He couldn't have predicted this. He couldn't have imagined it when he was dreaming last night of what could happen in race number 1 here today. A bit of a bobble in the front of him. Garcia was out wide as we chopped to the team chatty. It was Garcia that went out wide at turn 13, so we have to get back to that. How many places did he lose? Not any. He didn't lose any at all. However, he lost a lot of time to Alberto Fernandez. This has allowed Cassidy to make a move on Fernandez. Yes, he has. And that's Cassidy back into 3rd.
Yeah, we were never going to count out Cassidy of this battle between Garcia and himself, and he's there again.
Oh, that was Unai Radri forcing out Alberto Sura. Sura, another rider that came from deep on the grid. Sura was down in 12th, so Sura back up into 6th. He's on the back of this group, and on the previous lap, he set a 53.5. All the other riders in front of him were in their 54s.
Yeah, that's actually really impressive as we go back to this battle.
So, as we take stock for the time being, it's been an all-action first 4 laps. Oh, a bit of a bobble there from Cassidy as he goes from the right to the left, unloading, then reloading the front again, and that's just allowed Garcia and Fernandez to open up a bit of an advantage once more. This top 6 are in a class of their own. Further back, we've got Nicholas Spinelli, who was another rider in the 53s, a 53.9 on the last lap. He's starting to close in this top 6 as well.
Yeah, but as you mentioned there, Liam, all of this is playing into the hands of Fernandez and Garcia. Previously, it was just playing into the hands of Fernandez as Garcia tried to fight his way through the pack, something that he's managed to do, but now he is getting closer and closer to Fernandez.
We've had another change for 4th position. That's Unai Radri on the 10. On the STV Leglise machine, he's already ahead of Fernandez. He's making a look up the inside of Cassidy. Cassidy holds his line for the time being. So after we had 5 laps so to say, of all action. It seems to have settled down a little bit as Fernandez goes a little bit deep, loses the rear end a little bit, but chops across the front of Alberto Sura, so no harm done for Fernandez, who's out on the curbs. He's on a wobbly out there on the exit of turn 15 as the number 4. This might allow Sura to make a play on 5th position alongside the come down towards turn 16, but no later on the brakes as Fernandez.
Yeah, Cassidy will be looking behind him as well as looking ahead. These 3 riders behind him are very hungry. They're looking to get onto the podium as well, Liam.
They are indeed, but Garcia's climbing all over the back of Fernandez as this battle for 3rd is all action for the time being. Fernandez still holds the advantage over Garcia. This is brilliant for Garcia. He'll be, and Cassidy, he's gone from 3rd, he's already shuffled to 2nd. No, he hasn't, he's been shuffled to 5th, but here comes his teammate Sura. Sura up the inside of Cassidy. Cassidy just holds it for now, but this has been a terrible start to lap number 6 for your rider that was leading in championship only a couple of laps ago. He's now back into 2nd in championship and down to 5th.
Yeah, Cassidy will be wondering what's going on. Why is his teammate trying to take points away from him as he's chasing that Moto2 title?
Yes, indeed. Garcia, he's now into the lead of the race. He is now taking full advantage. Fernandez, he's been shuffled back into 2nd. Your pole setter, who was looking for his first race win in Moto2, he's now back into 2nd. However, as he just keeping his powder dry, he was setting a pace in the low 54s, so maybe he's just trying to keep his tyres in check, while Garcia's had to use much of his in the opening 5 laps to go from 10th on the grid to the lead.
Yeah, P10 to the lead, but look at the gap as well that he's creating already with the riders behind him.
Oh, Radri and Fernandez up the outside of Fernandez. Fernandez didn't go for 1, he's gone for 2 from 4th to 2nd. What a move there from the 4.
This is absolutely sensational racing in the incredible Moto2 European Championship. We've been treated from start to finish of this 2024 campaign, and it had been so exciting. And we're seeing more of that here in Aragón.
Can we have rain on Saturday more often, please? Because it is jumbled up the grid. Something brilliant and giving us an all-time classic already, and there's still 10 laps to go.
Yeah, Fernandez, is he going to be able to keep P3 there? He is, but just, he's got Radre crawling all over that back wheel.
Yeah, Oradri, he was sitting in 3rd for a moment there. He's got the run out of the final corner, has the 10, so has Sura. Well, Cassidy's just slipping off the back of this group. Here comes Sura on the 67. He's making a move for 3rd. Nope, Fernandez holds it. But Eric Fernandez, he's been revitalized. He's already climbing over the back of Garcia.
Yeah, there's nothing separating as well. The 3 battling for 3rd place, Fernandez, Oradri and Sura. That is a really interesting fight to try and step on that podium. All 3 of them. Whoa!
What a move there from Sura. Sura just sets up Oradri. Oradri never saw that one coming, so Sura, must remind you, came from 12th on the grid. He's already up to 4th, maybe going for 3rd, and to 8th. Yes, he is. Here comes Sura on the Bosco Scuro. Fernandez, your pole setter, he's gone from 1st. He's already been shuffled out of the podium.
Yeah, wonderful from Sura there. We've seen what he's capable of over the course of this campaign. And he's showing us again as we see those incredible hills here in Aragón.
Now, this has just allowed the top 2 to get away ever so slightly. Oh, we've got a crasher there. That is the number 23 of Taiga Hada. He's gone down. Let's see what happened here. Is out wide. Oh, the rear end comes round. Whoa, over the top. That's a nasty crash for the Japanese rider. So Taiga Hada, hopefully he'll be up and okay, but that was a very strange crash. Not sure if it was just a little bit dusty out there that brought the rear end round, or maybe a lock-up from the bike, not quite sure. However, back at the front, Fernandez leads the way. He's not just chasing his first podium in Moto2, he's chasing his first win. And Sura's climbing all over the back of Garcia as well.
Yeah, this is turning into an absolutely spectacular race. Look at these as they contend for that 1st place, looking to get on top of the podium for the very first time.
On the outside, maybe? No, he's not doing it just yet, but he might get the switch back on Garcia. A bit of a bobble on the front end from the 31 second in your shot. He's spinning up the rear already as Garcia, and he's not got the run out of the final corner. Here comes Sura alongside Garcia. 8 laps to go here in Aragón. It's a Motorland miracle here for the time being, and Garcia just holds it so far ahead of Sura. But here's the move from Fernandez. We saw this a couple of laps ago when he went from 4th to 2nd, and he's just got the drive coming out of turns number 11 over the top of the hill into 12.
Yeah, that was absolutely sensational. Here he is leading again.
And Sura.
amazing stuff from Sura. Can he make it stick? Well, it looks like he can. And let's not forget as well that both Sura and Garcia had to fight their way through the pack. Oh, there he goes, Sura! Oh!
He tried to make his aid, and Fernandez
still
looks... Oh, goodness me, Rajvi almost got involved in that. Wow, Connor, what can you say about this race? It's absolutely brilliant. I think Fernandez saw Sura up there and said, just let him go for the time being. But Rajvi Garcia, almost contact there for your championship leader. And Rajvi, who's looking for his third podium of the season, that's allowed Fernandez back into, and Cassidy's just sitting there like rubbing his hands thinking, let's go boys, it's time to go. And if you guys take each other, that's fine by me.
Yeah, absolutely. Cassidy watching on, and he'll be perfectly happy seeing his championship rival drop down the standings. He's still third, but Cassidy finds himself in sixth, and there's a bit of a gap between Cassidy and Garcia as well.
Yeah, there is indeed. So all of this battling and all of that squabbling has really opened up this top six, and it's allowing Spinelli to come into play here. So Fernandez there went a bit deep. I think he just allowed Sura to go through and chopped across the front of Radri. I don't think Radri saw that coming. Garcia had to take avoiding action as well going into that right-hander. Fernandez making a move on Radri. No, Radri's still holding out on the STV like Lee's machine. So, after all of that, once again, we're ticking off another lap. 7 laps to go. We're looking at the 54. Alberto Fernandez, who started on his career first pole position, he's back into 5th spot. Cassidy, your other chief championship rival, who was 2 points behind Garcia coming into this race, he's back in 6th, with Garcia, who came from 10th on the grid, up into 3rd. However, the rider that started behind all of them, Alberto Sura, should get my teeth back in there. Got it. Alberto Sura has gone from 12th all the way up to the lead.
Yeah, at the beginning of this race, we were talking about how fantastic...
out well wide there.
Yeah.
So not sure what happened there. Radri's dropped not 1 but 2 positions. So a big moment there for Radri. There's Spinelli and Harrison Voigt. Harrison Voigt, who, the Australian rider, who is having a cracking race. He's in 8th spot, and on the previous lap, he was the fastest rider on the track on the 54. So Harrison Voigt on the 29, who will be racing in Phillip Island next weekend in replacement of your other championship contender, Danny Munoz, who we are missing from action this weekend after a fractured right ankle and a crash in Japan Moto2 last weekend. So we're not sure what's going to happen. Maybe even Harrison Voigt, who is in 8th place, can still win this race because tyres are definitely going to come into play now.
Yeah, absolutely, but he's another rider that has advanced through the field. He started from P14, Liam, and making his way up to 8th. I think we really see why he is going to be making that step up as well. He's a very talented rider, is the Australian.
Yeah, he's also got Colin Stoner, the father of Casey Stoner, helping him out this season as well. A race winner when he made a replacement ride in the Australian Superbike Championship just a month ago at Phillip Island. So Harrison Voigt, he's one to watch next weekend when he is racing Moto2 in Phillip Island. However, getting back to the front of the race, it's Fernandez who's chasing, sniffing that first victory. Not just his first podium in Moto2, but he wants that victory. The top step of the podium is even sweeter than 2nd place. But Sura just brilliantly leading the way. They're setting lap times in the low 55, so they've dropped a second a lap in the last few laps. The only rider in the 54s in the top group was Garcia on that last lap at 54.9, so the championship leader is starting to come back into play.
Yeah, he is. He'll be aware of Cassidy behind him, and as we said before, he just needs to make sure he finishes this race and doesn't concede anything to Cassidy that he doesn't need to concede. He's already done the hard work. He's got himself back onto the podium for the time being. He's in with more of a chance of improving on that. There he is, moving into P2 with a fantastic move on Fernandez. Oh, that was wonderful from Garcia.
Yeah, great stuff from Garcia. Was really eating up the tarmac to the back of Fernandez going into turn number 5. So Roberto Garcia, he looked like he was dropping off the boil just a couple of laps ago. He's maybe taking stock, let his tyres recover after working extremely hard to get inside the top 3, and he's now made a move on Fernandez, who could be coming into tyre problems himself. But on that exit from turn 11, once again, he's got a great drive over the top of the hill, but this time round, Garcia has it covered.
Yeah, Sura does look to be a bit faster for the time being over these opening 2 sectors. In sector 1, it was Garcia who was faster, but by the slightest of margins, and that is actually changing over the course of sector 2. Sura is 0.2 seconds more or less faster.
Bit of a moment there from Fernandez as he went out of shot just over the curbs. Now, the rider that's starting to look like he might be wakening up a little bit is Mattia Cassidy, the 40 on the Bosco Scuro. He's now starting to climb over the back of Alberto Fernandez, the rider in shot there on the purple machine, the green machine just behind him. He's got a much better drive off of the final corner, does the 40 of Cassidy. Across the line we go now. Here comes Cassidy. Can he make a move on Fernandez? No, he can't. But on that lap there, he was the fastest rider inside the top 5. He was the only rider in the low 55s. The rest were in the mid to high 55s.
Yeah, this is getting closer and closer as well for all of those riders, Liam, as we see Sora leading the way still, and Roberto Garcia is dropping back a bit. Sora is creating a bit of a gap, but he had a bit of a moment there, went a bit wide, and Garcia could absolutely take advantage of that.
Well, so with 4.5 laps remaining, tyres are starting to come into this, I believe, because even though we've got a new track surface here, we have seen it can be a little bit abrasive potentially, and tyres are coming into it. But Cassidy's a little bit deep into the corkscrew section of the track, but he's managed to gather it up absolutely brilliantly, and that's allowed O'Radry, who had dropped off a few laps ago. He's now regrouped and starting to come back at this top 5.
Yeah, Cassidy can't forget that he does have O'Radry behind him, and he's going to be desperate as well to move up through this pack and get into that fight for the podium, but the only way to do it is by getting past Cassidy.
Yeah,
Look at the space that is narrowed now by Garcia as he chases down Sora.
I was about to say, if it stays like is, Alberto Sura will be going into race 2 later on today, only 12 points behind Garcia, so this is a massive moment for Sura. However, as you say quite rightly, Connor, Garcia and Fernandez have now started to close in that advantage, but we've seen so far, so many times in 2024, you can close up to the back of Sura, but getting past him is a completely different thing. But Garcia just eats up all of that advantage on the brakes into turn 16. Through the final corner we go. Does he have to run? No, over the curbs they both go. But that Bosco Scuro gets brilliantly out of that final corner.
Yeah, Sura is chasing his first win since our opening race in the Moto2 European Championship back in Misano. And he'll be desperate to get back on the top of the podium. He was in the Algarve, finished twice in second in race 1 and race 2 there, and he'll want to be back on top of that podium.
Yeah, he will indeed on that previous lap. Oh, a bit of a rear end slide there from Garcia going through turn number 4. That is a place on the track. You really do not want to lose the rear going into 4 with that fast left-hander before it slowly comes down. Now, the rider I want to draw your attention to is a rider 4th end shot. The purple flash comes into screen there. On the previous lap, he was in the 55s. The low 55s was Fernandez. He was 0.3 of a second faster than Garcia, and Fernandez just ahead of him, but crucially 0.6 of a second faster than your race leader. This top 6 are now starting to concertina back together once again.
Yeah, this top 6 are really showing their caliber, and they've done that over the course of the race. And as we saw earlier, Liam, the difference. Look at those clouds.
Wow,
do you see those clouds?
My goodness me, that was like the movie The Mist.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. They really are starting to home into view. Hopefully we don't have any more mist descending over this Aragon circuit, because it really did put a delay into proceedings earlier on this morning, so we hopefully can keep them away from us. But look at Garcia once again, Connor, just later on the brakes. On the front end, he's got so much confidence in comparison to Sura. So the top 6 powered down the back straight, but in the background, we were talking about Harrison Voigt earlier on. He's now moved up into 7th, and he is the fastest rider, barring Fernandez. So Fernandez is the fastest rider on track. Second fastest rider is Harrison Voigt. I don't think he's got enough time to close down this top 6. However, if tyres come into even more play, who knows what can happen with 3 laps to go. Sura leading the way from Garcia, Fernandez, Cassidy and Unai O'Radry. The top 6 just covered by 1.2 seconds. What more can you ask for the opening race of the day? Moto2 race number 1 here in Motoland Aragon has been utterly brilliant. It's been one for the history books, and it's not over yet. Can Sura hold on for his second victory of the season? Garcia, a bit of a front end moment from Cassidy. Will he run in deep? Yes, he will. He just had a bit of chatter on the front, and that's allowed O'Radry to come through. So Cassidy, this is going from bad to worse for your championship. chief rival, but here comes Aragón. Oh, that's going to be close. Sets up Mattia Cassidy, who the rider that was looking to take advantage of Garcia starting all the way back in 10th. He's now slipped back to 2nd. This is really turning dire for Mattia Cassidy.
Yeah, that was an incredible battle between those two. Cassidy there had absolutely nowhere to go. Radre took full advantage. It was exactly on the line he needed to be on to get past Cassidy.
Oh, we get a replay of that. It looked like he just lost the front, had a bit of chatter going through turn number 4, and that just meant he couldn't quite get on the brakes like he wanted to, and he went a little bit deep into 5. That allowed Unai Radre to come through for 5th position. Radre, he has about a 7/10 of a second gap to close up to Ferrandis. Ferrandis, he's now climbing all over the back of Fernandez once again. So Fernandez, he's coming under pressure. He wants his first podium of the season, his first ever podium in Moto2. However, he's got Ferrandis for company.
Yeah, this is really, really getting tense as we enter the final stages of this race. And it's a race that I almost hope would never end, Liam. This drama has been incredible from start to finish.
Yeah, it has been brilliant. Can we just have another 10 laps of this race, please?
I don't think the tyres could take that, Liam.
Oh my goodness, they're spinning up coming through the final corner. You can see the marbles already on the outside of the track where the tyres are crying too much. Here comes Fernandez. I thought Fernandez was coming under pressure from Ferrandis. However, that's maybe just pushed him up to the back of Garcia. 2 laps to go here in Moto2. And Fernandez coming to blows already. Try and get your teeth back in for that one. Fernandez, you can get easily tripped up, but it's Fernandez that's leading the way over Ferrandis for 3rd, but Ferrandis takes advantage. Oh, the switchback, he got that time to perfection. Ferrandis looking for his first victory in Moto2, and he's the fastest rider on track. Alberto Ferrandis, who's gone from 4th to 3rd. He was looking at Garcia. Garcia's laying the brakes, he's going for Sura. Oh my goodness me. So much confidence on the front from your championship leader.
Yeah, absolutely, but that was sensational as well from Ferrandis.
Oh, he's gone deep, and that's allowed Ferrandis through. Garcia's out wide, he's lost 2nd, he's back to 3rd. Wow, here we go, a lap and a half remaining in Moto2 race 1, and Ferrandis started this lap in 4th. He's now climbing all over the back of your race leader, Sura.
Yeah, Ferrandis is absolutely desperate for that first victory. He's been on the podium 1, 2, 3, 4 times so far this season, but he's not stepped on top of it, and he's in with a real shout this time around. If he can just get a bit closer to our current leader, Sura.
As we said so many times, Sura is so difficult to pass. However, he'll be wanting redemption for Jerez, Sura. Garcia I thought was having a little nibble up the inside of Ferrandis there. However, these are the 2 riders that came to blows in Jerez. Ferrandis and Sura came to blows at turn 7 in Jerez, and it was Sura that was tumbling through the gravel trap. He'll hope that he'll get redemption on that and beat Ferrandis. There'll just be a lap to go as he come through the final corner. Moto2, race number 1. We don't want to end. Here comes Ferrandis up the inside, turning it tight, but Sura just keeps that wider line. 1 more lap to go. Who will be on top at the end of this one? Sura leads away from Ferrandis. Garcia, but here comes the 4th, Eric Fernandez. Is he later in the books? Yes, he is. Oh, Garcia swoops around. My God. Oh, he's losing the rear end. And Unai Radre on the 10, he's back in this as well. It's all chopping and changing. Moto2 race 1 is absolutely at its best. Fernandez up the inside of Garcia into 3.
Yeah, this is absolutely incredible from all of these riders. Sura was fantastic. They're so good on those brakes to hold off the pressure from Ferrandis. And now it's Garcia who's going wide there. Oh, that's unfortunate for our current championship leader, and that has almost permitted, has it?
Wow,
not quite.
This is close from Garcia. He's just squabbling. He's trying everything he can to hold on to that final podium position. Fernandez, he wants his first ever podium in Moto2. However, it's Ferrandis back at the front chasing Sura. He's got the space, he's got the speed, he's got the pace, but it's Sura that still has the advantage. No, he doesn't. My goodness me, turn 10 overtake from Ferrandis. Yes, she's not supposed to take over there. Who overtakes her? Ferrandis does.
Oh, that was absolutely incredible.
Oh my goodness, elbow to elbow. There's no love lost between these two. Sura's going around the outside. No, he's not, but Ferrandis holds it into turn 12. He is going around the outside. My goodness me. Here comes the Pecco and Alex Marquez corner. He's ahead. But what else can you say about this race? Sura takes around the outside, Ferrandis takes around the outside, and it's still 2 or 3 corners to go.
Yeah, that penultimate lap was absolutely incredible, and this one is proving even more exciting. Sura leads, but by what margin?
Here we go, powering down the back straight. Fernandez has got past your champion leader Garcia. He's been shuffled back to both. Fernandez is going for his first victory in Moto2. Oh, chops across the front of Sura as he in deep. No, he's managed to hold it, but Fernandez, he is about to cross the line for his first ever victory in Moto2. But Sura's coming back. Here comes Eric Fernandez, side by side. It's going to be Fernandez and Fernandez. Photo finish for second. Was it Sura, was it Fernandez? But nothing is in doubt. It's Fernandez who takes victory for the first time in Moto2. The 17-year-old who's graduated from European Talent Cup, moved into Moto2, this time a year ago at Motoland Aragón. 1 year later, he's christened it with victory.
You can see what it means to him there as well. He is ecstatic. There's no other word for it. Last time out, he finished second. This time in Aragón, he finishes first, and there is a wheelie to celebrate.
Wow, my goodness me. Fernandez timed it to perfection from pole position to victory. It sounds like, if you just say it like that it was an easy ride from start to finish. However, it was not. It was anything but. He had to go backwards. He came forward again. He kept his tyres in perfect condition, and he was the fastest rider on track. As he's congratulated by some of his friends and family on the outside of turn number 6. Wow, my goodness me, what a race to open proceedings here in Motoland Aragón. Fernandez on bike 54. We've seen so much. That number has been synonymous with motorcycle racing. Manuel Poggiali in 125 and 250s. Kenan Sofuoglu in World Supersport, and now Top Rack Razgatlioglu. However, there's a new star wearing that number, and his name is Alberto Fernandez. Eric Fernandez, look at that. His first podium in Moto2, took it on the line by 0.17 of a second. Can you believe it?
You absolutely can't believe it. That is what this class has. The Moto2 European Championship delivers drama time and time again. The excitement. Sura is one rider that will be fairly upset with the way things finished today, but what a race he delivered from P12 on the grid, and he finished on the podium. What a performance from the Italian.
Yeah, it's a shame that he just got pipped on the line for second. However, he will be, when he comes back into Parc Fermé and the team tell him his advantage to Garcia has come from 17 down to 40s. We've got some goon riding out there from Alberto Fernandez. Pops a wheelie coming across the crest of the hill in towards turn number 12. Well, a new star is born in Moto2. Alberto Fernandez. Remember, that name came so close last time out in Jerez. But now, he is powering that sideways goon riding, just opening up the rear wheel. A bit of a stoppie there, not quite Top Rack Razgatlioglu style. Now, if you're going to wear the number 54, Alberto, maybe the stoppie is something, the only thing that's missing from your arsenal to match the World Superbike Championship leader, who could potentially become World Superbike champion here today over in Estoril. But we hope you're sticking with us here in Aragón. Here was the overtake for, well, it wasn't an overtake for victory, it was, look at that. My goodness me, there was a bit of a battle before that with Fernandez making a move up the inside of turn 10, Sura around the outside of turns 12 and 13 before Alberto Fernandez was later on the brakes into turn 16. And you could see what it means to the 17-year-old Spanish rider as he came across the line to take his maiden victory in Moto2 European Championship. And as we're celebrating a first-time winner in Moto2, we're also celebrating a first-time podium finisher with Eric Fernandez, who won the stock race here 1 year ago. But he comes across the line for his first podium in the class. Alberto Sura, that will be his fifth podium of the season for the Italian rider. So he's put himself well and truly back into championship contention. He came into this race, 19 points behind Roberto Garcia, not 17. However, he did take 3 points out of Garcia, so that gap has now come down to 16. Garcia finished in fourth ahead of Matteo Casadei, who did manage to salvage a fifth place finish out of Unai Raju. So that means the gap has gone from 2 points at the top of the standings down to 4, so Garcia's only opened up his advantage by 2 points going into race 2 later on today. Match point for Roberto Garcia, who could take the title in race number 2, but he will need a victory and the others not scoring any more than 21 points to take the championship. So it's a big, tall order for Roberto Garcia, so it could roll into Valencia in just over 1 month's time. Sura doesn't look too displeased with that one, coming from 12th on the grid and just missing out on victory by just under 1/10 of a second is no mean feat. He will be a little bit subdued considering he was leading coming into the final left-hander, but Fernandez got the move done quite clinically and brilliantly into the final corner, and Fernandez, well, just got the drive coming out of the final corner and pipped Sura to the line. We will be hearing from your race 1 winner, your brand new Moto2 winner, in a few moments' time down there with Connor Doherty in Park Fermi, but we'll have the big celebrations. Brilliant to see from Fernandez and the team, and there's a few tears down there as well. It's a big moment for all of these young riders when they can finally take their first victory after it's been coming for such a long time. He made a storm 1 year ago as a rookie in the class in Aragón. He was one of the stars of the weekend when he made his debut. However, that star has just shone even brighter here today in Motoland Aragón as Alberto Fernandez is now a winner in Moto2. And just remember, we've got plenty more Moto2 action here today. We've got one well and truly big race coming up later on at 2 o'clock local time. However, before then, we will hear from your maiden victor in Moto2. Connor Doherty is down in Park Fermi with your brand new Moto2 race winner, Alberto Fernandez.
Alberto, that was absolutely sensational, so much drama. We saw in Park Fermi and after the race what it means to you, but can you tell us in your own words how this weekend has gone?
Was incredible. Was incredible, amazing. I have worn now. I push a lot, but my tires are destroyed, and after I pain a lot, but I take my rhythm lap by lap. I arrive at the group, and finally in the last lap I overtake Surra, and yes, was amazing. I don't have words. I pain a lot these years ago in the small categories, and this is incredible.
Brilliant. And in Spanish, please.
Bueno, qué decir, estoy sin palabras, la verdad es que no me sale ni la voz. Estoy muy contento al final. Ya no es esta carrera, esta victoria, es todos estos años que hemos sufrido muchísimo. Al final sin una recompensa, pero hemos seguido trabajando y trabajando y trabajando y ahora estamos donde nos merecemos. Y esto no es casualidad, estamos trabajando mucho y estamos llegando.
Brilliant, well done.
Well, how do we unpick that one? Race number 1 from Moto2 in Motoland Aragón. Your pole sitter, Alberto Fernandez, took the whole shot from pole position ahead of Fernandez. However, it was Mattia Castanet who, at this moment in time, with Garcia shuffled back in the pack, was looking to take over lead in the championship. Nicola Spinelli made some moves early on. However, Roberto Garcia from 10th on the grid was already up to 4th spot at the beginning of lap number 4. He then made this move for the podium play on Eric Fernandez, and we thought at this time being it would be Garcia that could be off and running. Castanet was being shuffled back ever more as we had this crash for Taiga Hana. Hopefully the Japanese rider will be back out for race number 2. Eric Fernandez, he regrouped and was already back into the lead of the race. Garcia looked like he might be coming into tire troubles as Sura, who from 12th on the grid, was making his way through the field before making this move on Eric Fernandez, and then Unai Aradri punted out Garcia for 3rd place. But Garcia regrouped once again, and then he started making a play on victory with only a handful of laps remaining Ferrandis and Cassidy, they were married back and forth in 5th spot. It looked like they were out for the count before Ferrandis unleashed the speed in the closing stages of the race before moving into 2nd. But it was this battle on the final lap that we'll be talking about for years to come. Sura versus Ferrandis, round the outside at turns 12, up the outside for 13 went Sura. But Ferrandis was not done and dusted. The 17-year-old swooped across the front of Sura into the final corner. The FIM Racing Team rider crossed the line for his first victory in Moto2 as Fernandez took 2nd place, his first podium in Moto2, but nobody could stop your first-time winner, Alberto Ferrandis. We get ready for podium proceedings to begin. And Connor, you were down there in Parc Ferme with all the celebrations. Just what was it like to be down there with that atmosphere?
It was absolutely electric. The team were shouting, "Si se puede," yes, we can. And you really got the impression that they were all working so hard together to get that first win for Alberto Ferrandis. He was sweating profusely, Liam, and you could hear exactly what it meant to him.
You could indeed, and this is a big moment as well for Eric Fernandez, his first podium in Moto2. However, all the cheers and adulations will go to your first-time race winner in Moto2, Alberto Ferrandis, who stands atop the podium as a 17-year-old. And you can imagine there'll be plenty of more to come for the first-time race winner. Mr. Pedro Ribeiro, Chief Steward, presents the trophy to your winning team, the FIM Racing Team. Well, that's another trophy to add to their collection. They've had many over the years in the European Talent Cup, but there's more from Moto2. Alberto Sura, he will be pleased with that one as he cuts Garcia's championship advantage down from 19 points to 16. But Eric Fernandez from 2nd on the grid to 2nd place, his first podium, that'll mean so much to your podium finisher as he holds out a Hugo Millan that we unfortunately lost here 3 years ago on the podium. But the biggest cheer of all, the biggest trophy of all goes to the biggest rider on the podium, Alberto Ferrandis, your first time maiden Moto2 race winner.
There we had the Spanish national anthem, and we also had tears from Alberto Ferrandis. That's how much it means to the young Spanish rider. As we celebrate on the podium in the first race of today's FIM Junior GP World Championship races, what a day we've got in store, and what a first race here in Motoland Aragón. As they prepare to take a photo together on top of that podium. And there is a round of applause as well. Here we have the result. Alberto Ferrandis with his first win. He was followed onto the podium by Eric Fernandez and Alberto Sura. Behind them was Roberto Garcia and Mattia Casadei, the title rivals. Unai Oradre in P6, Harrison Voigt in P7, Spinelli in P8, and Rossi Delamore in P9. Behind them in P10, Josh Watley, Mattia Volpi in P11. In 12th, Johan Gimbert. 13th, Francesco Mongiardo. 14th, Eduardo Montero. 15th, Lorenzo Feon. 16th, Maxwell Toss. And 17th, Giampaolo Di Vittori. Behind them in P18, Abdullah Al-Kubaisi. In 19th, Yosuke Hosaka. In 20th, Jonah Eisenkolb. And those were the results in today's race 1. Here we have the championship standings then, and this is getting spicy indeed. Roberto Garcia leading with 134 points. Mattia Casadei 4 points behind him. Alberto Ferrandez just 11 behind after that win, and this is looking incredibly exciting as we prepare for race 2 here in Motoland Aragón. Here we have the bottom half of the standings then. In 10th, Johan Gimbert, Harrison Voigt in P11, and at the bottom there in 17th, Mattia Volpi. Here as well, we can see in 18th, Brett Roberts, 19th, Nicholas Spinelli, who took to the track for the first time in this class today. Josh Watley made his debut last time out in Jerez and finds himself 23rd with 6 points. Behind them in the standings, we have Maxwell Toth in 27th.
Well, that is race number 1 done and dusted. But we have race number 2 coming up at 2 p.m. local time. Make sure you do not miss that one, because Alberto Ferrandez will be looking to make it a double delight in Aragón as he closes ever closer after his maiden victory on the Moto2 Championship. The gap at the top is coming down, so make sure you tune in for race number 2. It's European Talent Cup up next.